Alright guys, this is a response or trying to explain how to set a governor on a Tecumseh engine to ban on the run 87. You asked if I knew how to adjust the governor. I seen a video of an edger that you was showing, and I guess it was running away. It was revving high, and you moved the throttle. Your governor arm right here was moving, but the main shaft in the engine was not. This screw is loose. This one is tight. If you look, you can see the whole thing move. These little screws will vibrate loose, and you can see this one move. But if I hold it still, the governor arm will still move, but the shaft is not. Put short, a good place to start. I don't know what size engine that is. This is a 5-horse Tecumseh off of a Aaron's. I can't remember what. Snowblower. Anyway, a good place to start on adjusting them is parallel, straight up from this. The little bracket that's on this rod that goes inside the engine, run them straight up, and then tighten that screw, and that's a starting point. At least you can start the engine. Like I said, I don't know your carburetor setup on it or anything like that. As you can see, this one has, anyway, it also has several, this one has several different adjustments to put the spring. Tilt it back. Well, I don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah, there's a spring right here, and there is several adjustments where to put that spring. What this spring does is judge how hard it pulls on the governor. The less throttle you have, the less tension that's on it. That's it right there. It won't even pull back. It will if you pull way over here, but that's at an idle. When you rev it up, it pulls the governor, which moves this rod and gives it throttle. As the engine revs up, it adjusts accordingly. It don't just let the carburetor go full throttle. It regulates itself out to an RPM. But yeah, just put that straight. Check this on your engine. It should have moved a little bit when you was moving it. I've never seen this move. Just check that and make sure this rod is not froze or stuck in the block, that it does work back and forth. Not this rod, this one, that it does function correctly. Yeah, as when you set it straight, start it up. If it still sounds like it's revving too high, I'm gonna hook all this back up where it don't pop out.
or just treat yourself. You get the cash you need now and regular easy payments. The PLS installment loan.
Back towards the side cover of the engine is in an idle. Okay. If it is revving up too fast, you want to loosen this screw and stand it. This rod will only go so far. It'll go way over this way, but right there is as far as it'll go. That's as far as the governor gear inside of the engine will let it go, is straight up and down. Go straight up with it, pull this rod out. And this is one of those cases that just a little bit goes a long ways. You just pull it out just a little bit and tighten the screw back up. That will help pull the engine back slower to keep it from over revving. Check the threads in here. This one does not have a backing nut on it. It's just a screw that screws in and it's threaded inside of this arm. Some of them have a little nut on the back. If the threads is bad in here, you may have to get a short screw with a nut and put it in there and tighten it up. You may want to put a little bit of Loctite or something on it to keep it from ever vibrating loose again. Because they will, obviously they will vibrate loose. If the engine is running at too slow of a speed, there's several ways you can do it. This is just adjusting the governor. Normally, I adjust them straight up and down. If yours has a place, different settings on here to put a spring, you may could adjust that spring to a different notch, or if you can see it, this screw right here, as you rev it up, this is the arm right here that pulls this spring that revs it up to put tension on it. If yours has, it'll be different than this, or it should be. But check and see if it has the governor adjustment screw right here, and you can adjust it in or out. Unscrew it, puts less tension, which makes it not rev as fast. Tighten it up, puts more tension on the governor with the spring, makes it rev faster. Somebody had this one screwed all the way in. Normally they're all the way in at about 4 turns out. Roughly half of the screw is where they are from the factory. Normally, sometimes they're a little different. Every one of these does not work the same. This, let me zoom out. Oops. This is a governor gear. This is inside of the block. Yours may be smaller than this. This is actually one out of an 8-horse Tecumseh. How these work. These little weights right here. And you may already know how a governor works. If so, I'm sorry for going through this. As this turns faster, the force of it slings these weights out, which lifts 2 little pieces in here. Try to get it where you can see them lifting up. How they lift up. There's a rod in here with something that looks like a washer. As these sling open, both of them, as they sling open, it lifts that rod up and it pushes on the other end of this, which moves the governor. As the engine slows down, this spring has tension on it. As the engine goes into a workload and slows down, these go in, and it lowers that rod, which lets it add more fuel. The spring pulls against it and adds fuel. That's how they level themselves out. When it finds that comfortable RPM, these weights stay stationary and it holds that speed. Like I said, if you already know how a governor works, I'm sorry for that. But yeah, that's a good starting point, and you can go from there. Like I said, I don't know what type of engine you have, but it looked just like this. I didn't notice all these different adjustments in here for springs. But yeah, just start there, put it parallel, straight, a straight line is a good starting point, and you can fine tune it from there. I don't know what the RPM on your engine is supposed to be. So it's 3200, 36, 3800. It being on an edger, it just, the age of the engine would all take parts in how fast I would want it to turn. But yeah, just start there. If you have any more questions, ask. I figured it'd be easier to do this than try to explain how. You can actually see it. Yeah, if you have any more questions, just ask me. Thanks for subscribing. And like I said, just ask if anything else. Just ask.